Hello everyone. There it goes. This was I had a request for more scary stuff, so I found this. This is Chilling Scares. I do like the channel. I just don't watch as much of it as I probably would like to, so I try to throw in one of these every now and then. This is 6 most disturbing things caught on 6 most disturbing things caught on police dashcam footage. I was looking at police and moving on to Palash, I think. Video. Before we get going, I have a thanks on the page where you can donate directly to the channel. If you do, great, appreciate it. If you don't, thanks for considering it. If you don't have anything, I understand. Still going to be making videos. Anything would be appreciative, but not mandatory. And let's get into it.
On May 31st, 2016.
Okay, I didn't see the six disturbing thing. I just saw just most disturbing. Sorry. Never mind.
At around 2 a.m., a Pasadena police officer was stopped at a red light when he noticed the vehicle directly in front of him had an expired registration sticker. Immediately after the light turned green, the officer switched on his lights to pull the vehicle over for a routine traffic stop. The dashcam footage shows the police officer shining his flashlight inside the vehicle and talking to the driver. Although nothing out of the ordinary seemed to be happening, the police officer would soon hear screaming and banging noises coming from the trunk of the car.
Ooh.
When the officer conducting the traffic stop asked the man and woman in the vehicle about the noises, the driver immediately steps on the gas and speeds off. The officer reacts instantly and runs back to his cruiser to pursue the vehicle.
Somebody in the trunk.
After taking a wrong turn and arriving at a dead end, the driver of the getaway car can be seen frantically getting out of the vehicle and attempting to escape on foot, leaving behind the woman who later turned out to be his girlfriend in the passenger seat. The suspect doesn't get far though, as he falls on the ground before making it past his own car. After arresting the suspect, one of the officers...
I don't think he tried to get up after he fell. He felt like such a dummy that he just gave up.
Officers on scene would use the keys that were still inside the suspect's vehicle to open the trunk of the car, where he would find a woman who later turned out to be the driver's ex-girlfriend cramped in the trunk of the vehicle. The victim later revealed that her ex-boyfriend Alexander Salas and his girlfriend Nicole Cruz had kidnapped her in order to scare her.
That's your girlfriend?
And that the reason why Salas appears shirtless in the video was because he had tied his shirt around her head before putting her in the trunk. The true details regarding Salas's motives for kidnapping his ex-girlfriend remained unclear. After the events, Alexander Salas and Nicole Cruz were both charged with aggravated kidnapping.
That was I'm just going to say on a scale of 1 to 10 on the attraction level, she did not make the charts.
This dashcam footage was captured by a New Jersey police cruiser in the early hours of the morning of February 24th, 2023. A few minutes before this footage was recorded, several police officers and first responders had left their vehicles on a closed-off highway lane to attend to the victims of a crash involving an SUV that had spun off the road after the driver had lost control of the vehicle. What starts out as uneventful footage of a couple police cars stopped on the highway soon takes a terrifying turn. The dashcam video shows New Jersey State Trooper Stefan Lentini shining his flashlight at an oncoming heavy-duty tow truck to try and get the driver's attention. Alarmingly, the truck doesn't seem to be showing any signs of stopping or even moving to the next lane, as the 40,000-pound truck's headlights can...
What is going on with this bulbing thing. It's driving me crazy.
Continue to approach the trooper and his car, Lentini is forced to run off the highway to avoid the oncoming truck.
Tell me this guy didn't see it? You gotta be a drunk driver, right?
After the truck slams into 3 police cars and an ambulance, panicked State Trooper DeVry Mariano's voice can be heard as he calls desperately for his partner, serving as a chilling reminder of how tragically this crash could have ended. Amazingly enough, no one, not even the truck driver, was seriously injured during the incident.
Why did he not see?
Although the 53-year-old tow truck driver was given a summons for the careless driving that resulted in 3 totaled police cars and a damaged ambulance, the factors leading up to the crash have not yet been revealed. Though many are suspicious of the driver falling asleep at the wheel or just not paying attention in general.
It's got to be falling asleep because you're that far away. You've got it. I mean, those lights, they stand out at night. Yeah, it's hard to miss them. He fell asleep. Or was not. Yeah, no, he fell asleep. Had to have.
In February 2014, South Carolina Highway Patrol officers were instructed to be on the lookout for an old green Cadillac that had allegedly been involved in a kidnapping in Virginia Beach. On February 25th, state troopers spotted a vehicle matching that exact description at a rest stop along I-95 in South Carolina. The footage captured by one of the police cars shows a trooper cautiously preparing to open the trunk of the Cadillac.
Ma'am, you okay?
Upon flipping open the trunk of the car, the trooper would find a middle-aged woman stuffed in the back of the vehicle. Disturbingly, the victim later turned out to be the mother of 20-year-old Rogelio Lopez, the driver of the car. According to authorities, the woman sustained minor injuries when, after she attempted to escape the car after Rogelio stopped at a Dairy Queen, he reportedly jabbed her in the ribs and chest and put her back in the trunk of the car. The dashcam video shows how after helping the woman out of the car, another officer at the scene proceeds to interrogate the suspect.
What's going on that made you want to do this and put her in the trunk?
She didn't want to come with me.
So why
It wasn't a problem that she didn't want to come.
Although Rogelio's defense attorney would later attempt to plead insanity for his client, the suspect was jailed on kidnapping charges.
Your mom didn't want to go with you to Dairy Queen, so you forced her in the trunk of the car? Did you get her an ice cream? Or were you just being a dick? Because I'll be honest, if somebody shoves me in the trunk of a car, I'm not happy. You go to Dairy Queen, I'm pissed. You get me a banana split, even Steven.
The footage that was captured by Officer Wayne Daniels' police car in Garden City, Georgia is arguably one of the most notorious dashcam videos on the internet, as it left viewers completely baffled for years and even appeared on a paranormal TV show. In the video, the officer attempts to pull over a white sedan for reckless and erratic driving near midnight on April 3rd, 1997. After fooling the officers into thinking he was going to pull over on the side of the road, the mysterious driver begins swerving chaotically before making a U-turn and disappearing into the night.
Oh, maybe I don't know this one.
Suddenly, the white car comes into view again and attempts to leave the officers behind by maneuvering the white sedan into a series of dangerous swerves. Although the video quality is understandably low, the driver in the white car would reportedly reach speeds of over 115 miles per hour during the high-speed pursuit. Out of nowhere, the suspect turns onto a side road and reaches what looks like a dead end. And this is where things get creepy. Instead of stopping, the white car makes a sharp turn to the left and disappears behind a metal fence, leaving the officers and the viewers of this viral video completely stunned. One of the most plausible theories on this shocking footage is that the fence might not have been properly fixed to the ground, allowing the car to go straight through the fence.
Yep.
But this still leaves a lot of unanswered questions. To this day, the explanation for this eerie footage remains a mystery. This dashcam footage comes from a police car in a suburb of Chicago. In the video captured on May 10, 2018, Sergeant Anthony Manino is seen putting himself and his car between a 2-year-old boy and oncoming traffic.
Oh, damn.
Before the sergeant arrived at the scene, the small child was weaving in and out of a high-traffic lane, running dangerously close to the trucks and cars that were passing by at high speeds. According to reports, Manino originally thought that the child was a stray dog, but after realizing it was actually a little boy running a few feet from traffic on Route 59, he immediately got out of the car and ran to the child's rescue.
31, trying to corral a 1-year-old boy running across 59, just north of North Aurora. Hey! 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 Come here!
You better never do that. You better never do that.
You're okay.
You hear me? Never.
You're okay.
I will beat you.
I have him. I'm gonna have to try to find his parents. How you doing? What's your name? Yeah, please put pieces together. We're in front of the Old American sale. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Videos like this one raise an obvious and very concerning question. Where were this child's parents? Fortunately, in this case, the boy's mother showed up a few minutes later, understandably emotional about the incident. It was later discovered that the family lived only 2 blocks away from the spot where Manino found the child, and that the boy had run away from his mother in the blink of an eye. Had Sergeant Manino not been there at that exact moment, there is no telling what could have happened to the little boy. This unsettling dashcam footage shows the police's response to a report of 2 people in clown costumes harassing civilians and chasing after cars in the early morning hours of October 7, 2016 in Menasha, Wisconsin. The incident was reported amid the disturbing surge of creepy clown sightings in various locations worldwide, in which people dressed up as clowns would sometimes even go as far as threatening innocent passers-by with weapons. In this video, when the officer asks them to show him their hands to make sure they aren't carrying any weapons, the clowns comply by slowly and creepily bringing their hands out to their sides, standing still and staring at the officer.
Guys, make sure to keep your hands where we can see them, alright?
Alright, 217 down there.
I
276.
want you guys to come up to this barrier right here. Go ahead and put your butts against it.
Although this footage looks innocent enough when compared to some of the other clown sightings that were reported that same month, there is more to the story than meets the eye. It turns out the 2 clowns were being driven around by a 26-year-old woman who was actually the wife of one of the clowns. Shockingly, it was discovered that the couple had left their 4-year-old home alone for several hours in order to participate in this prank. After the parents were referred to court on charges of child neglect, the child's mother was detained at Winnebago County Jail as a probation measure. The other clown was let off with a warning.
when I'm gonna put you down. Okay. When I was in school, I was in 6th grade. So that would have been 2019. Kidding. I was 12. I'm 18 now. And there was this couple people in school were saying, oh, there's people in clown outfits, and they're in this white van, and they jump out and they run at you. Teachers were just like, sure there were. And I'd left school and went up through Vinton Highlands area and was walking towards a quick shop. And I'm with like 8 people. There was 4 of us coming back because the other people went home. 4 of us coming back, and there was this van that had passed. And I'm sorry, when we were walking up, a van had passed, and somebody said that looked like that van with the clowns. A couple other people are like, yeah, it was. So not thinking anything of it, I'm going with them, and we're like sneaking through backyards to go to the quick shop. I'm thinking it's ridiculous, stupid, whatever. We go to the quick shop. We break off. Some go home. The rest of us are coming back. We have to walk back through the neighborhood because we lived in the completely other direction, but we all just went to quick shop to get candy. It was like a mile away from the school going one way, and I lived a mile the other way. Whatever, no biggie. Did it before. Walking back, one of the guys, he just kept looking around. He was like, man, that van, I don't like that van. I just don't like that van. And me and the other 2 guys didn't know anything about it. We had just heard it. You know, we're just like, okay. So instead of going home, like you're facing the school, 3 of us would have went left and he would have went right. And he convinced us to not go home right away. Instead, over by the football field, which was right next to the school, football field was on the school. This is, by the way, this is 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So this is like 10 through 14, something like the age range. There was a pavilion there, and you could park, and had a couple picnic tables and stuff like that. And it's right by these woods, not very big woods, I should say. No one was hiding in the woods. You could run into the woods and get away from people. Did that several times. So we go up to this pavilion. We're just sitting there, and we keep hearing my dogs. Sorry. We keep hearing like somebody's trying to spin out tires. Me and this other kid, Tom, lived closest to each other. And Tom was just wanting to go home. He had to go home, unlock the door for his brother and stuff like that. One brother was in high school, I think. And so he had to catch the bus. And then he had a younger brother. So Tom had responsibilities. He was the first one home. He had to unlock the door so everyone could come in. His brother was massive, by the way. Giant human being. Still is. So we're sitting at this pavilion, and this white van drives by. Drives right on past us like it's going past the school. And I don't remember who I was with at the time. I mean, who the kid was. I can't even visualize it. But he goes, oh no, that's that van. And he gets up off the picnic chair and he goes to the woods. Woods are like 30 feet away. And we're sitting there and we're like, why is this scary? And he goes, there are clowns in there, man. They'll start chasing you. They catch you, they'll kidnap you. And he was just like, oh, they'll molest you and they'll kill you. And we're just like, I think probably just to scare you. It's probably guys with a clown mask, and they open up and they're like, burr, 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 burr. You know, that's what we're thinking. It's a nothing situation. We didn't know. All of a sudden, that vehicle goes out of sight, and then you hear, and it like did this U-turn, and it comes back, and then it slows down, and it goes by, inches past, and there was a turn on. You could turn into this pavilion because it was a parking lot. Goes really slow. And we just see somebody with a mask on, clown mask on. And I only know that because they had the hair. It was like blue hair. And they go by real slow. And I'm just like, that guy's got a mask on. And one of the guys I was with, Jason, was like the fastest kid in the state in his grade. And I'm not joking. He ran track. Sitting there, and we're eyeballing it. This vehicle comes back again, probably 5 minutes later, and goes by real slow. And it comes back again. And the one kid was just in a panic because he had to go across the street to go home. And we were like, okay, listen, we will walk with you across the street. Like, we'll walk with you across the street almost to your neighborhood where you could see your house. And then from there, you know where he didn't live too far off the road. And we're like, from there, you go home. Just as we're having this discussion, as I said, there was a parking lot, it's a road, and there were trees there, like woods. It wasn't very big. It opened up further, expanded out into this field. But by this road, it was still a little bit of woods. All of a sudden, Jason says, that car's on that van, it's on the other side of those trees right now. And we're like, All of a sudden, it just pulls right around the corner, right into the parking lot, and just starts driving full speed at us. And before any of us know what we're going to do, everyone just, it's fight or flight, and we're all flight. Two people go running into the woods. The one kid and Tom go running into the woods. Me and Jason start running across the field. I hear doors shut, and I'm hearing panic from Tom and everything. I look back, there's 4 people. They're all in outfits, like complete clown outfits, and they are coming. They're coming, and they look like they have mini like batons or baseball bat. I have no idea. They just started chasing us. A couple of them ran to the woods, but they did not go into the woods. Me and Jason are running through the field. There's a soccer field, baseball field. We're running. Jason doesn't have anything to worry about. I'm not as fast as Jason, so I'm running, and I look back and I realize, oh, yeah, he's kind of gaining. And Jason just says, go to the woods. And he's running, he just starts pointing to the woods. So I turn and run off into the woods. The one kid starts chasing me. Jason's slowing down, trying to get his attention. He wasn't going to follow him. He wasn't going to catch him. I go into the woods. As I'm going down and running, I just hear, and Tom and the other kid are running through the woods, and I was running ahead of them. And now I'm panicking because this guy's starting to run towards the woods, and they're behind, so he can cut them off. And I'm just like, you know that saying, I don't have to be faster than the bear, I just got to be faster than the person I'm next to? Well, I was next to those two. You know, I'll mourn you, but I ain't dying. Ran into the woods, took off. The one kid, or I shouldn't say kid, guy, ran to that wood line and then was just jogging like he was going to catch me if I came back out. But this whole wood section kind of opened up and expanded, and I could follow those woods all the way around and basically come out almost by my neighborhood. So I knew where I was. I knew I was good in the woods, and if I had to, I could actually take the big tunnel for flood water, take that tunnel and go underneath the expressway and go into another subdivision like down the way, and I was fine. Like, I knew I was okay. I was just kind of worried about those two. They ended up taking a right. They went up, and there was a cul-de-sac on the other side of the woods, and I took off running, and I'm still going. I'm going, and I start hearing voices. And as I'm running towards, I had a cousin who used to have a fort in the woods, and there a bunch of people there. They would smoke, drink, do stuff that teenagers do. And this chair's bothering me. And I'm running, and I look back, and I can see that the trees, they're there's like it's a field, and there's tall grass, and I can see he ran up to the grass and he stopped, and he's just looking, and there was beyond this grass there was like a clearing, and then there was me with these trees right along this tree line, because it kind of curved like that, and I'm back here still running in there, and the tall grass kind of kicks out like this, so he couldn't run along that tree line anymore. He started running along the grass that was big. He didn't want to run through that, or he was following the curve thinking I was going to go that way. And instead I just dipped down into the woods, and I ran to my cousin's fort, and I told him what was going on. And there was like 9-10 people in there, and they're looking at me, and they were like, yeah, right. And I'm like, just shut up, just shut up, just shut up, just listen to me, just shut up and listen to me. And right then you could hear through the woods, you could hear Tom and them. So I start yelling, Tom, Tom. Tom starts coming up. He's trying to find me. I run down and I find him. Well, by then my cousin's got a bunch of people, and they're just like, let's go see what this dummy's talking about. So they start walking out. Tom and them come up, and Tom's like, oh my God, they had weapons. I don't know what it is. And they're like, my cousin's like, what is it? Are you guys being serious? And we're like, yeah. So we come walking out, don't see anyone, and I'm scanning the field, and I was like, well, maybe he turned and he ran back to the van. Where we were at, it went downhill a little bit, and you could see the pavilion. You could still see the top of the van, and there was a guy standing on top of the van, either doing this or he had binoculars. I don't know, but he was watching that guy who was following me. The other 3 guys, or two or three guys, had stayed around the van because the other guys ran into the woods. This one guy committed and followed us, or followed me. Jason was gone. He was safe. So I'm standing there, and I just hear and we're all being quiet, we're all looking around. And then this guy pops up. He must have known we were coming. He got down low and was like crawling through this tall grass, like prairie grass. And then he popped out, and now my cousin and like all his friends are there. And my cousin was 4-5 years older than me, and a lot of these people were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than me. This guy pops out, and out of his mouth you hear, oh shit, and he's got his clown outfit on. He turns and runs, and my cousin and all those guys just run through the field, chase this guy down. They kick at his foot to trip him, and they beat this guy down. Oh. The van, they ended up taking off in the van, drove around, and where this area was, there's a road, but there used to be a blacktop to a stop, and then it was a dirt road that went into the woods, and it was just a neighborhood that didn't build. So that's what all those woods were. They were just kind of uncleared future neighborhoods. And so they drove that van around to that spot, and then they got out, and we're looking over, and I was like, they're coming, they're coming. And my cousin and all of his buddies just turned around, and those 3 guys are charging. My cousin turns, and all those people start charging. Some of the guys were in the field, others, because we stayed back, and those guys stayed back with us just to protect us. But when I said, those guys, that van's coming, we were staying in a spot where they must not have seen us, and so they just saw like their one guy versus like maybe 4 guys, 3 guys, and we're standing there, and I was like, that's that van, that's that van. 3 guys are running out, and they were running out with intentions of, oh, okay, it just got serious, even though what they were doing was garbage. So they're charging at my cousin, and I'm yelling at him, and you can see one of those guys slow down because he realized there's a voice calling from somewhere, and he's looking around, and all of a sudden my cousin and them turned, and this guy next to me, his name was Greg, I'll never forget it. He put his arm around me and goes, let's do this. And then he just like was holding me and just starts running. So now I'm in on a beatdown with clowns, and we started running, And those 3 guys ended up stopping, turned around, ran back to the van. We all went charging in. 2 of the people stayed with that guy. He got beat up, but not like, you know, he didn't get the life beat out of him. Wish he would have. And then they called the cops on him. One of the cops wanted to arrest my cousin and all those people because, oh, you threw a beating on an innocent man? No, he wasn't innocent. So, after all that, I don't remember whatever happened to that guy. And I say that because I don't remember ever getting asked about like testifying or taking a statement or anything like that. Like, I'm sure I talked to the cops. I just don't remember much after that. But I do know the cops were called because that guy, I don't know who this person is. Stop it. Why do people add me on Snapchat? Don't add me. So, anyways, I apologize. The clown thing just kind of got to me. But I remember I went to school and one of my teachers was like, oh, this clown thing is ridiculous. And I was like, let me tell you a story. And I told him and he goes, maybe it ain't horse shit. He said that in class. It was great. All right, I'm going to end this here. Man, it's 78 degrees in this. I got to turn the air back on. All right, I'm going to end this here. As I said, if you'd like to donate to the channel, that's great. I'm going to have other options for things and set up ways for you to donate and get gifts in return. Do Patreon, stuff like that. I just really don't have that much time to do things anymore. So, I'm going to end it here. Until next time, have a good day, have a good night.